Alright, let's dive into something that's both fascinating and, honestly, a little unsettling. Imagine a robot, about the size of a small cooler, floating silently beneath miles of Antarctic ice for 8 months. Sounds like the plot of a sci-fi movie, right? But this actually happened, and what it found has scientists seriously concerned. So, let's break this down and talk about why it matters, and why it's way more complicated than it seems. First off, the hook here is obvious: a robot discovered something beneath Antarctica's ice that's worrying experts. But what makes this really interesting is why it's worrying. We're not just talking about melting ice, we're talking about a potential domino effect that could reshape coastlines worldwide. Personally, I think this story is a perfect example of how small discoveries can reveal massive, global implications. It's like finding a single loose thread and realizing it's connected to an entire tapestry. So, let's set the stage. This robot, a simple but durable float equipped with sensors, spent over 2 years drifting beneath the Denman and Shackleton ice shelves. Its mission? To measure temperature and salinity, basically, to check how vulnerable these ice giants are to climate change. Now, here's where it gets intriguing. The Shackleton ice shelf seems relatively safe from warm water intrusion, but the Denman Glacier? That's a different story. The robot detected warm water flowing beneath it, and that's a red flag. What many people don't realize is that even a slight increase in this warm water layer could accelerate melting, triggering an irreversible retreat of the glacier. And if Denman collapses, it could raise global sea levels by up to 1.5 meters. That's not just a number, it's millions of people's homes, livelihoods, and entire cities at risk. But here's the thing, this isn't just about Antarctica. If you take a step back and think about it, this discovery is a microcosm of a much larger issue. Antarctica's ice shelves are like canaries in the coal mine for climate change. They are sensitive, they are remote, and they are telling us something's wrong. What this really suggests is that even the most isolated parts of our planet are feeling the heat, literally. And if Antarctica's ice is vulnerable, what does that mean for the rest of us? Now, let's talk about the robot itself. I find it fascinating that such a simple device could uncover something so profound. It's not a high-tech, billion-dollar machine, it's a float with sensors. But its success proves that sometimes, the most groundbreaking discoveries come from the simplest tools. This raises a deeper question: do we always need cutting-edge technology to solve big problems, or can we achieve more by focusing on durability and practicality? In my opinion, this robot is a reminder that innovation doesn't always mean complexity. Another detail I find fascinating is how this mission changes our approach to climate modeling. The data collected will be integrated into advanced models to refine sea level rise predictions. But here's the catch: models are only as good as the data they are fed. If we've been underestimating the vulnerability of glacier like Denman, our current predictions might be too conservative. This isn't just about refining numbers, it's about rethinking our entire understanding of how quickly and severely climate change could impact us. From my perspective, this story also highlights the unsung heroes of science, the researchers and engineers who design these missions. They are not just collecting data, they are piecing together a puzzle that could determine the future of our planet. What makes their work so compelling is the balance between curiosity and urgency. They are not just asking, what's happening, but what's going to happen if we don't act? So, where does this leave us? Personally, I think this discovery is a wake-up call. It's easy to feel disconnected from Antarctica, it's a frozen continent thousands of miles away. But this robot's findings remind us that we're all part of the same system. What happens there doesn't stay there. And if we ignore these warning signs, we're not just risking polar ice, we're risking everything. Here's my closing thought: this robot didn't just find warm water beneath the ice, it found a mirror. It's reflecting back our choices, our priorities, and our future. The question is, what are we going to do with what we see? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you think this discovery changes the conversation about climate change? And more importantly, what can we do about it?